Hi, this is Vivian from upstate New York, and my question is, which is better for solar panels, roof or ground installation?
Hey, Vivian from upstate New York, Michael Brown, Solar Ray, Orlando, Florida, down here in sunny Florida. Well, it's like a lot of things in life, it depends. Okay, so just about everything that you have a question about in life kind of comes out to one of these it depends type things. If your sole need is for production of the system and all you care about is kilowatt hours, you are going to get better production and less problems concerning heat up north, snow buildup, and everything else like that. On a ground mount, you'll be able to access it and service it. In the southern states where it's hotter, they run cooler because there's a lot more air running around them. So as far as production, if just we're talking about straight up production and ability to service and access and work on if you need to or do anything else, ground mount is actually a lot better until you start to do the what ifs. Okay, so what if you have animals? Well, now you need a fence. What if you have an area that has a lot of vegetation growing and stuff like that? So now either you need to put down some ground barrier or some alternative ground cover so that you don't have all these things growing up around it. Because animals love chewing on things. Most grazing animals, that's what they do. They chew on things, especially goats, but cows and everything else does as well. And they'll go on and they'll nibble on things and or rub against it. Like there's nothing greater than having a big bull rubbing up against your solar array and breaking a module or something, right? So there are downfalls to having a ground mounted system. In addition to that, they're more expensive. Okay, so we're in the southern hemisphere and we have a lot of humidity down here. So we like doing ground mounts, but we have learned over time, because I've been doing this for more than almost 20 years now, that I don't use metal in my array structure and my struts that come up out of the ground. I use all concrete posts and things like that. So you also have to look at what you're mounting to. Just like if you're on a roof on the ground, now you have to look at your ground. What is it? Is it flat? Is it level? Is it rocky? Is it soft? Is it clay? Is it sand? Is it, you have to look at all these things. So you can do a lot of things with a ground mount. Overall production, that's our solar system. If you watch our videos, you'll hear that fan come on every once in a while, and that means that the sun came out and we're charging batteries. Overall, I would say I like ground mounts, and that's because I can decide exactly where its orientation is. I can decide exactly what my angle is. I can decide a lot of things that you can't really decide if you're doing a parallel roof mount. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. Make sure that the company that you hire, if you want to do a ground mount, has done ground mounts. Look at their oldest installations and ask them to see some of their older installations. You want to make sure that regardless of the size, it's in nice plane, that they understand row-to-row shading and things like this, because if it's a very large array, you might have more than one actual array. So you'll have two sets, and you need to make sure that the tail end of this array doesn't shade the leading edge of this array in the middle of winter, right? When the shadow is cast the furthest. So you need to look at those things to make sure that they know what they're doing and that you're going to get an installation. But it is going to cost a little bit more for a ground mount. If it's done properly, in my opinion, it's a much better way to go. But if you have animals around it, I'd say it's not really a great way to go, because it's hard to control the environment around animals, right? So that's my take on it. We've done a lot of ground mounts. We've done a lot of roof mounts. Okay, well, hope I steered you in the right direction. I don't think I answered your question, because it's not really a question that I can answer with the amount of information. All I can do is tell you the pros and cons and what to look out for. But that's our take on ground mount versus roof mount.